Hello everyone, welcome back to Tech with BSK channel. So in previous section, we have seen how to create virtual network and how to create subnets from virtual network, how to assign IP address, how to assign CIDR ranges. So what is private IP and what is public IPs? So how what are the classes will be there? So and what is the future IPs? Allocated to that. So those things and all we saw in yesterday's session. So in today's demo, we are going to understand one of the most important concept in Microsoft Azure, availability zones. So here we will see what availability zones actually are. Okay. So why companies use them for high availability, how Azure protects application from data center failures, and finally we will do on hands-on demo by creating a virtual machine inside availability zone. So if you are preparing for Azure certification, DevOps interview, or real-time cloud projects, this video definitely going to help you. So without wasting any time, let's jump into Azure portal and let's get started. So let me type virtual machine. You can click on create virtual machine. Okay, you have to select your subscription and the resource group. So demo is the resource group and VM name I will do M1 VM01 and I will create in Central India region. Okay, so here you can see availability options. Okay, so what exactly availability option? What Azure is offering? Azure offers a range of options for managing availability and resiliency for your applications. Architect your solution to use replicated VMs in availability zones or availability set to protect your apps and data from data center outage and maintenance event. Okay, so what happens if you are not enabled availability zone? So if you are going with normal no infrastructure redundancy required. Okay, let's discuss more about that. Okay, let me open. Okay, for example, this is one region. Okay, this is one region. So let's take this region is one region you can take. Okay, so here my region is in Central India. Central India region. So here in region there will be multiple zones will be there. Okay, let's take zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3. So inside zones there will be data centers will be there. Okay, inside zones there will be data centers. This is the DC. So there may be one data center will be there or two data centers will be there. Okay, so depends. Okay, let's call this one zone 1 and zone 2 and here zone 3. Okay, so what happens if you are not enabled availability zone while creating virtual machine? For example, so in your organization or in your project you are using 6 web servers. Okay, 6 web servers you are going to create. If you are not enabled this availability zones, maybe all 6 servers will be assigned in here one zone itself. Okay, for example, if some natural calamity will happen, some disaster recovery, something disaster will happen, so outage will happen on zone 1. So your application will go will not available. Okay, so in that case what we can do, we can split the servers into different zones. We can create two servers in one zone, and two servers in another zone, and two servers in another zone. So like that, if something happens in zone one, another zones will be available, so application will keep on running. So what exactly inside zone will be there? Okay, inside zone data centers will be there. Inside data center there will be physical servers will be there. Inside physical server there will be virtualization will be there. Under virtualization our VMs are hosted. Okay, so like that way it is going to work on it. For example, let me take how let me explain you how the data center will be there and how the servers will be there. Okay, let me open new one. And in Azure, in Azure few regions, there will be availability zones will not support. Okay, so if you have selected Central India, we have an option called availability zone. For example, if you have selected some other region like east, west to west, you can take. So there will be no availability zone available. Okay, so in that case, we have to go with availability set. So what is availability set? We can discuss in detail later. Let me just tell you how it will be work. Now I'm explaining. Okay, so let's take this is one data center. Okay, this is one data center. DC you can call. Okay, so here in data center there will be racks will be there. So rack 1, rack 2 and rack 3. So if we are not if in few regions we have no data available regions available, right? In that cases availability set we can enable. That is not a big advantage over on it. Just what happens within the same data center itself, our servers will be hosted and with different racks. For example, if you enable data availability set, okay, inside. For example, let me write this is rack 1. Rack 1 you can take. And rack 2 and rack 3. Rack 3. So inside racks, we have a server will be there. Okay. Let me take one example. Server 1, server 2, server 3, physical servers, server 4, and server. Okay. Let me write server 1 like this way, server 2 and server 3 and server 4. Okay, so like this way it will going to create. What happens if you enable data set? Okay, so our VM will not create in the same rack. Okay, for example we are going to create 6 VMs, right? So 2 VMs in one rack and 2 VMs in another rack and 2 VMs in another rack. So like that way inside the physical server it is going to create it. So what inside physical server it looks like? Okay, let me take one more example. It is just opening. Okay, let's take this is physical server. Okay, physical server is a physical server. In physical server, we have what is the physical server like whether it is a Dell or a HP or like and it will be 512 GB RAM and 5 TB HDD or STD, that HDD, and we have like a Xeon processor. Okay, so in that what happens inside physical server, again we have a virtualization will be there. Again virtualization will be there. Okay, here inside physical server virtualization we have enabled. Virtualization will be VMware ESXi, something will be like this. Okay, under here we have a VMs, VM1, VM2 and VM3. Okay, whether it is Windows VM or Linux or one more Linux. So like this way it is going to work on it. So in availability zone, if you can look at this, so for example, this is central India. We have a multiple zones will be there. Inside zones, we have a data center will be there. Inside data center, we have a racks will be there. Inside racks, inside data center, we have a racks will be there. Rack 1, rack 2, rack 3, and inside racks we have a physical servers will be there. Under physical server virtualization will be there. Under here our VM is going to create it. So like that way it is going to work on it whenever you are requesting any VM or EC2 instance from the AWS. Okay, in Azure few regions not enabled availability zone, and for AWS every region have availability zones are available. So but in Azure we have few regions that keep on they were increasing availability zones. So as of current whatever the availability zones are available we can use that regions. Okay, so here I am going to search for India. Central India have zones are available zones are available. So I am going to select zone 1 here. So here security type I will select standard, and here Ubuntu server maybe I can take this one, and I can take size will be this is the image size or OS. Okay, so Ubuntu OS I'm selecting here, and after that we are going to select the size, how much size you require. So I'm going to with this one. What where there is one more option called spot discount. So what is spot discount? So if you enable this one, okay, if you enable this one, there will be some 80% of discount will be there. So but that is not good case for production or like any environments, because if you enable this one our VM will be in unreserved space. Okay, so if something Azure required in our data center there will be space are not available, so they will there is no information, they don't need to provide any information to us. So they will keep they will directly delete the VM and they will use the space. Okay, so that is not a good case for any environments or production environment. So I think this option is not required. Okay, and size will be some D2S V3 2 CPU and 8 GB RAM. This is fine for me to launch the Ubuntu machine. So here we can there is an authentication type will be there. There is a two types of authentications. One is like SSH key, and another will be password authentication. If you enable this one, you can provide your username and password. I will go this time SSH public key. So it will be generate a new key. Okay, then our username will be Azure user, and after that key name should be I have to provide. What is the key name must be provided. So I will provide VM. Okay, so VM key I'm providing, and I'm allowing SSH port to launch my VM. So always Linux work on port number SSH. Okay, port number 22, and let's go into the next disk. Okay, so here disk, so here disk size is 30 GB is fine for me, and SSD is not required. Some normal HDD is fine. What is SSD? SSD is it will be work on very fast, getting response very fast. There will be low latency, and in mostly in production environments we can use SSD only. But in lab purpose, I'm fine with HDD, and delete with VM, that's fine. And next, networking. Here networking, I am selecting my existing VNet, and the default subnet will be there. That range is /24, and here I am enabling public IP. Why? Because I am enabling public IP. So if I want to connect my VM, so I need the public IP. If most of the organizations, most of the projects, you don't see the public IP enabled. Why? Because that is no security purpose, they have disabled this public IP. Instead of that time we have to connect to any VPN or any other public server. From there you can connect this private server, like that way they have enabled. Mostly you will not see this public IP enabled. For this lab purpose I want to show you, so I have enabled this public IP here, and the basic network security group is fine for me, and again enabled SSH port. And let's click on review plus create. I will show you later. Tax is like monitoring advanced, and tax will show later. Tax is like who is the owner and who owns this environment. Like that way we are pointing this tax. Okay, and validation is fast, and I'm clicking on create. Okay, download my private key, because if you're not downloaded, your machine will not able to launch it. So I am downloading this private key and create resource. So private key is downloading. Okay, my private key is downloaded, and I'm clicking on return to create a virtual machine. Okay, by the way, VM is created. So to launch this VM, so you need some Linux machines. Okay, Linux tools you require. So we have some in market. There will be Putty or Moba Extreme or some Super Putty, and from PowerShell also we can able to launch it by using SSH. So there is a multiple ways. If you want to like down in use, if your favorite tool, you can use it. And right now I am using Mobile Extreme. So to download Mobile Extreme, you can directly go to Google, download Mobile Extreme. You can type for download Mobile Extreme for Windows 11 or any flavor you are using. So you can click on this one. You will directly go to this launch their website, and you can directly click on, there is a free edition will be there. You can just click on download. In my case I'm not downloading this one. If it is downloaded, there will be zip file will download. You can extract the file and install Mobile Extreme in your machine, and you can launch it. Okay, so I think machine created. Let me go to the machine, go to resource. Okay, here you can see the overview. Okay, you can see the overview option will be there. So here you can see what is the resource group, demo RG, and location Central India Zone 1 I have created, and operating system Linux Ubuntu 24.04 version, and size is there, and this is my private public IP, and subscription, everything will be see here. What is the network associated, you can also see here. Okay, so let me copy this public IP, and let me open Mobile Extreme. So in Mobile Extreme, so you can click on session. Under session, you have to pass this public IP to login. You can select SSH, and host details IP you have to provide, and username. You can see here, if you don't know username, what is that, you can just click on connect. Once you click on connect, there is a username will show here. You can use that username. It is loading. It will open in a while. I know my username Azure user, but I want to show you where you can see the username details. Taking long time than usual. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, you can see here Azure user. This is the user ID and this is the public IP, and you can open and you can give username and port 22 and click on advanced settings, because here I didn't use any password, right? So I have used public IP. So click on this use private key and open this one, and I have given VM key there. So the name of the key, VM key, and I will go to downloads. So VM key, this is the one. Open and click on OK. It will launch this machine. Okay, you can click on accept. The machine will launch. So in this way you have to create a machine using availability zones. So you can prepare like this. Okay, if you want to delete the machines once you are created and you want to delete everything, right? Don't create individually. Go to home, click on that resource groups, which resource group the machine got created. Okay, open that resource group. Demo resource group. Okay, click on that. You can directly go to delete resource group option is there. Taking more than usual, not so. Okay, here delete resource group option is there. You can just click on delete resource group option. It will ask confirm. So you have to copy your resource group name, and you can paste it in here, and you can paste it here, and you can click on delete. So it will delete everything. Okay, so like that way we have to do that. So today's session we have discussed how can create deploy virtual machine using availability zone in Azure. So now you understand what availability zones are, how they improve application availability, and how to configure them practically inside Azure. So this is very important real-time concept, because most production applications uses availability zone for fault tolerance and business continuity. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video and comment your doubt or feedback. I will respond to that query. And please subscribe to the channel for more Azure DevOps, Jenkins, Kubernetes, security tools, and Python for DevOps content. And don't forget, this is just beginning of our Azure Zero to Hero journey. See you in the next video.